What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Impact Defense Podcast, episode 95. We are just 5 more episodes away from episode 100. We do have something special planned. We are still working on that at this present moment, so not going to give it away just in case everything comes crumbling down. All right. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to that. But in this episode, we are going to be talking about safety online. So it's a little different than normal. So we're talking about safety online, like really a lot about social media and stuff like that, what you should and should not post, all that kind of fun stuff. Because let's be honest, we all know that one person who posts everything they eat and every time they go to the bathroom and everything else. Although I do think that's actually, I don't know, is it as popular as it once was? I mean, is some of that dying out?
I don't think so.
For those of you that are listening to the podcast, I just got a very blank stare from Jada, looking at like,
We're not really one to post on social media a lot.
I realize that. I get it.
Or
I just
look
don't
on
see
social media
Some
a
of the
lot.
older social medias are dying out, but the new ones are raging.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Before we jump too far into things, we need to jump into an ad.
Kylie, I love your necklace.
Oh, thank you. It's Invisaware.
Your necklace corrects your teeth.
No, it's actually a safety device. It has a button on the back that if you double click it, it'll send your location up to 5 contacts and it'll notify 911.
All that and it corrects your teeth?
No, that's Invisalign. So, yeah, if you go over to Invisaware.com and use the coupon code IMPACTDEFENSE, it gets you 10% off of anything that you purchase.
Oh, great. Are they all necklaces?
No, they have bracelets and scrunchies as well.
And once I go to Invisaware.com, how much does the coupon code get me off again?
It gets you 10% off of anything that you purchase.
And that's Impact Defense, right?
Impact Defense is the coupon code, yes.
Great.
All right. Yeah, Jada cannot stand to hear her own voice, and I think it's hilarious.
Especially since I talk for a living.
Yeah. So I don't really like to listen to myself talk, but I have to preview all of these. I don't have to edit them anymore, which is like marvelous, but I do have to like preview them all before we like push them up. So I kind of just have gotten used to it. So, it is what it is. All right. So now it's time for our news story of the podcast.
Okay, so this is a college student, and she was waiting in an icy parking lot for a shuttle. Her assailant approached her from the front and grabbed her in a bear hug. He simultaneously pinned her arms to her sides. She couldn't use her palm heel to the nose or eye strikes, so she just kneed him in his groin, and he dropped to the ground, clutching his nuts and mewing like a kitten. She said it was much easier to defeat. He was much easier to defeat than the self-defense instructor that she had been working with. And
who'd have thought that? He was easier to beat than somebody who's actually trained to actually do things. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. She said she was surprised she had disabled him with only 1 strike. She got up and ran and got to safety. But she said she felt nauseous and cried afterwards after the adrenaline dissipated.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. So there is a great story of how 1 strike to the groin actually won the day for her. It's not always the case.
It's not the be-all, end-all
It
of
has to
self-defense.
hit just right.
It does.
To stop it. Yeah.
And it totally depends. I think it's great. I mean, absolutely think it was great. I also kind of think it's great that she was like, oh, that was actually easier than I expected it to be.
Well, that was way easier than my self-defense instructor. But I feel sick.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's understandable
There's
too.
no way to avoid it. Any kind of close encounter, like you leave feeling like sick and shaky, like, oh my gosh, that just happened.
Yeah. I've been in, and we've talked about it before, where I fought in the ring, and you always leave with it's like, Oh, so that adrenaline dump. We talked about this. We had an entire episode on the adrenaline dump after a situation. And then also, just in situations that were kind of confrontations that were all verbal, where I de-escalated the situation and I left, there's still an adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that if it actually gets physical with a self-defense situation, there's going to be a massive adrenaline dump afterwards.
Yeah.
So
This one really wasn't like a full on, but I just really felt nervous right after. And that was when me, you, and Mom went to the grocery store, and I noticed this guy with a child, and then another guy, kept going closer to the child.
yeah, that was a weird situation.
Yeah, and then as he was leaving, he looked directly at me and left. That just kind of put me on edge just a little bit. I was a little.
Well, I think because like you saw, they happened to be close to us most of the time to the grocery store,
Yeah.
and you kept seeing this guy kind of making a line toward the child. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what the situation was. It was weird.
It was
And
very-
Kylie kept seeing him do it. And I have no earthly idea of,
And every time I watch him, he'd go away from the man and the child.
yeah, so we don't know if really it was Kylie kind of paying attention to the situation has stopped a attempted abduction.
Abduction.
I can't speak, I just do it for a living. But other than that, anyway, we have no way of knowing it was that actual, was that guy looking to abduct that child? And then with Kylie's attention, did that stop that? Or, was it just a lot of weird coincidences, that kind of happen? There's no way of really knowing, but yeah, she pointed it out to me. And then I saw it as well, because it was one time, I don't know, it probably happened like 3 or 4 times throughout the story.
It happened a
4
lot.
or 5, I don't know. Anyway, the last couple, Kylie kind of caught the situation early and pointed it to me, and then I looked over there too, and I saw the guy was acting really strange. And so it wasn't just happening all in her head. And then, yeah, when he left,
He
I saw,
looked directly at me.
yeah. So I don't know. Kylie didn't leave my side too much in that grocery store that day. So,
Yeah, no.
but anyway, yeah, we kind of veered off the news story, but that was the news story. All right. In this episode, like we're talking about, we are going to be talking about social media and online and all that kind of stuff. All right.
I want to be
Online
a hermit and
safety.
live in a cabin in the woods and not deal with anything internet related. I want to have a farm, be self-sufficient, and commune with other farmers in the neighborhood to have everything I need
So you want to be Amish? That
without the rules and regulations. Yes, that sounds delightful. Actually,
I'm not going to lie. I've told my wife this before. I said there's 2 things that have like somewhere in my brain tells me that I would prefer that lifestyle. And that is the Amish or to move to Alaska. And, one of those 2 things where you're just really kind of cut off from civilization. That's horrible. I mean, here we are. We are in a business of, teaching others.
People oriented.
Yeah. And all this stuff. And I was like, huh.
And
I
then we're
think
fantasizing of going away, far away from human beings.
yeah, kind of.
just going to turn over North Carolina to all the Californians moving here.
Hey, some of those Californians are really, really cool.
Yes, they are. And Monica, if you're listening, we love you.
So, all right. We need to remember to make sure to email her this episode when it comes out. So anyway, no, it's just, I think it's just sometimes the idea of, in a lot of ways, the internet has made things awesome, but also the internet has made things very
Not awesome.
okay. I was trying to think of the most diplomatic way of saying it. That sounds good.
It's like in good in some ways, but then bad in another
I
ways.
think it's everything, though. Everything in the world is that way.
Yeah.
You know, it can be used for good or
Yes,
it can
when
be
you have
used for
something
bad.
that affects
Evil.
that many people, the amount of good and the amount of bad are more amplified. It just is.
It's true because almost every human being is connected to the internet.
Yeah. Like even people who don't have like a home, even people who don't have four walls around them and like live in a like, they're still connected on phones.
Yes.
They still have phones.
People say, "Wait, now homeless people don't." No, I have seen quite a few homeless people with smartphones, and they use city Wi-Fi, and they are on Facebook and everything else. And you know,
No, there are plenty of people who like blog on YouTube, like their trips around, like traveling around, like in their van. You know.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's different.
No, but it's
than
like
what I
it's
was
still like
talking
they
about.
don't have a camper or like a
They live in
vehicle
an
converted
RV
into a
or
home.
live in-
yeah,
yeah.
like they just
Yeah, that's
live
cool.
in
I
a
think
van.
you and I were talking about two very different things. My bad.
There are like two social media users that I can think of that actually like got famous on social media posting from like their homelessness who ended up being able to get a house because of all the followers they had.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude on TikTok that I know of right now that he was homeless, started doing this stuff, got super famous, got a lot of money, bought a home with cash.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying though. Like, even if you don't have a home, a lot of people still have internet
Yeah. Yep.
and social media. So, anyway.
So, you know, and in those situations, the internet's good because there's, okay, and I know of that one, and obviously you know of two, and one of them may be the same. We'll talk about who it was later. 'Cause
Oh
I don't
yeah,
wanna-
no. I know one of them is the same because we've had it. Like we've talked about it before.
Okay. So, you know, with that dude, I mean, it's phenomenal because if he did not have the internet, he would be still homeless.
Or at least not as nice of a place as he is in now.
And now he lives in a very nice house. So, you know,
Because like
but-
he could have gotten a job or something, but it wouldn't
Right.
put him in as nice of a house as he's in now.
right. He's made more money on, and he, yeah, in a lot of ways, hey, look, if we didn't have the internet, this would not exist that we are doing.
Yeah.
Now, be it with the sponsorships and everything, and we've talked about it before, it doesn't always pay the bills month to month on this thing. But, you know, I mean, we would not have this platform to get out here and actually teach people about self-defense and different things like that. You know, I mean, this is really kind of even if I'll just be honest with you, I would continue to do this podcast, even if this podcast never made us a penny, purely because I think it is a great way to get people in the mindset of helping and growing their self-defense knowledge.
Yeah.
100%. But my mind just shut off. Where was I going with that?
I don't know.
But there are dangers to social media.
Thank
too.
you.
Like there are downsides to the internet, to social media, to like different platforms. There are so many, and there are dangers.
And that right there
Because
is why
Especially
I paid
if you have like a child and you don't know exactly what they're watching or seeing or doing online. That can also be dangerous because then you don't know what they're exposed to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there was a while. Now I don't know. I haven't heard about it lately, but there was a while going on YouTube, and these videos that were going on YouTube Kids, and it would start out this kid friendly thing, and all of a sudden it would flip over, and this guy or somebody was giving these kids like pro suicide messages or different things like that. You remember when that was going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still going on or not. But anyway, that kind of stuff, they were having to fight that constantly. And that was showing up on like YouTube Kids and stuff like that. And parents just like would turn their phones or tablets over to these kids and go, like, here's you two kids. It's safe. Go. You don't know what kind of messages your children are being, unless you preview or watch it with them. You don't know what kind of messages they're actually being fed in situations like that.
Yeah. And with like middle school age kids even, and you don't really monitor them because they're saying, you don't trust me. You need to. You really do.
You need to what? Trust them? Or
No.
what are you trying to say?
Not trust them. Watch their
Monitor?
monitor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Monitor them.
What about high schoolers, Kylie, since you're in high school?
Yeah, monitor them too.
Oh, look at that. All right.
I was really annoyed the other day because I had this is a social media situation. It's like I haven't been checking social medias very often. I'll take it back. The only one I really check now is Instagram. Like
I'm taking a little bit of a social media break at the moment.
And then like I just swiped through the random memes and stuff on the suggested page. I may or may not actually keep track of my friends' postings anyway. I use it as a second Pinterest.
No, I tell everybody straight up when somebody comes in and asks me something. So like, did you see this thing that I posted on Facebook? I was like, no, I'm sorry.
No.
So,
but
I've been taking a little
it was
bit of a
like
break.
one of those things where I was actually like looking at some people's stories, and one of my friends' stories, it's like, oh my gosh, she was like, it's an invasion of privacy for parents to monitor their kids' messages and like social medias or like emails or something. Like it's an invasion of privacy. Like your kids should be allowed privacy and things like that. And this is someone who's like my age, saying this over.
Okay, so this one is 20. Is that what you're saying? They are.
Yeah, they're an adult.
Okay.
Like just out of being a kid. But yeah, but I was just sitting here going, okay, now I know this person did not have the best family situation growing up.
Well, no, was she talking about teenagers, or was she talking about like for somebody her own age?
No, like she was talking about like for teenagers. And
Okay.
Not like for someone her age.
Okay.
But she was talking about how it was an invasion of privacy. Like you shouldn't check your kids' messages and stuff. Like they should have a right to privacy and the ability to like do that. I'm over here going, okay, no.
The reason
it's different if they're doing it to like for a control aspect. It's different if they're doing it to like take away something. It's different if it's an abusive kind of situation.
Yeah,
that's
is
different.
But if it's like for the majority of parents,
they're doing it because they love you and care for you. They don't want to.
The majority of parents just want to keep something terrible from happening to their child.
Yeah.
Grooming is a real thing.
Yeah.
It is.
And that can happen with family members. And like family friends, people that you know and trust. Parents monitoring and just every now and then be like, okay, just let me check this real quick. Everything seems fine. Cool. Have this back.
Yep.
And it's not like they're going through, it's just like, I need to know all the conversations that you had today.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that, okay? It's, let me make sure that there's nothing sketchy. You don't have anybody asking for you to send them pictures, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Like, my parents, like, they always reserved the right to, like, look at my stuff, And I understood that was a real thing.
Yep.
And I didn't ever go past like my limitations on that. I didn't test my boundaries. It would be difficult for a kid who did, but I never tested my boundaries. And the most that they ever really did was just be like, okay, let me see your photo files real quick, just to make sure there aren't like deleted photos and stuff. And when they did, I was like, okay, here you go. And I had nothing to hide. So, okay.
So I'm going to say something very old manish right here, but I am the old man at the table. Being all the way in my early 40s. If you are under 18, there is no such thing as privacy when it comes to your parents. And there shouldn't be. Okay. And I'm not saying that like, again, like you said, it's not that. So Kylie is under 18. Okay. She's getting closer to it every day, which kind of scares me. But anyway, until that point, I can see all. Do I see all? No, but I can see all. And and she said it, and she understands it. It's not that I'm trying to rule her life. It's not that I'm trying to rule over her. It's not that I'm trying to control everything that she does. It is that I love her and I want to protect her. And I know that there are people out here that groom kids. We have watched it in our own area, in our own community.
It was like 2 weeks in a row, wasn't it?
And especially in such like a difficult time as the teenage years, there are a lot of changes in behavior. And anytime there's a concerning change in behavior, sometimes social media plays into that factor.
Yeah.
Like conversations, especially especially in situations where children or teens are being like groomed,
Mhm.
you know, there are a lot of changes in behavior, and one is hostility towards parents, because most
Yeah.
of the time a grooming tactic would be for them to turn you against the relationships in your life. Just be like,
Yep.
oh, well, why are they questioning you?
That is
you
a
know?
common predatory thing.
And especially when a teenager is hostile to the idea of the parents like checking in on some of their social media, and that's not always the case, but that is a concerning thing.
Mhm.
You know, and it's just parents trying to protect their kids from that. And so I was just sitting there like, I'm not going to respond, because, you know, that's one of my social media rules. It's just like, I don't get into arguments on social media.
Yeah.
But I saw that and I fought that urge so much, because I wanted to be like, okay, speaking as a self-defense instructor, no.
Yeah.
It's like, I completely disagree.
Yeah.
100% disagree. All right. I was like, if you legitimately are coming out of an abusive situation, okay. Trying to have privacy, yes, fine. Most of the time, that's not the case, though.
Yeah.
Most of the time, parents check those things. Like, my parents did not let me open a single, like, letter, like, without them opening it first when I was a kid. And I was always a little bit confused by it until I got older and understood the risks.
That there are evil people in the world, and I hate to be that way, but there are. So,
Yeah, I know. I just realized I referenced actual mail instead of digital mail, but
yeah, nobody knows what
It's
that is
okay.
anymore.
I was one of those few kids that actually sent letters as a child.
So we have a post office box, and I'm down to like checking it once a week, basically, at this point in time, because we get so, little actual regular mail,
Yeah.
and most of it's junk.
See,
It bothers me, and there's this huge push for independence among like kids, you know,
Yeah.
like social media
No, I
telling
mean-
you that it's an invasion of privacy or like mental abuse for your parents to like check your stuff. And
that stuff
when
drives me
in all
crazy.
actuality, 90% of the time, it's just care about your child's well-being and wanting
Yes.
to protect them from the horrible, disgusting people that are in the world, and especially prominent on social media.
Yes. So I love my daughter, and I want her to be a strong, independent female that is not reliant on me or anyone else, really. So, but that does not mean that I am going to, as a teenager, just like say, all right, this is your phone and this is your window to the great wide world. Go.
I know parents
give
don't
her
think about
unfettered
how
access
big
to
the world is. They think about the tiny little phone that they gave them with the screen, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, YouTube Kids!" You know, like they can just like watch their shows and be entertained on their own, and talk to their friends. That is not what a phone is.
No.
Like you think about, think back to the really future-based shows, like and the little things that they added, like how small everything seemed to, like they still thought everything would be in the future, like the little wristwatch. It's like, oh my gosh, it's a watch and you can talk to people on it.
Mhm.
And it can calculate things, or like there's a flashlight. And it's like that seemed so cool back then. Well, now we have like so much more than that, and access to the entire like information database of the world. They can
Yeah.
access anything on it. And even if you have like guidelines on the phones, there are still like ways around it, and kids these days know how to get around them. You're handing them so much more than just a communication device.
Yeah.
All right, they can access any information they want to access, and it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
And there are always private chat rooms. The newest thing is like Discord. Everyone talks on Discord now, and I don't know much
What
about
is that?
Discord. I don't know. Like it's a messaging something.
So,
But you can
I'm-
find
Yeah.
communities. You can find communities that like similar things you like. You can join groups. Like Cody is on an airsoft group, or
Yeah.
several airsoft groups.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the limitations are on that.
and I don't know. I'm only in one group on Discord, and it's actually a podcasting group. So, it's through something, through Spotify, that we are. So I don't know. I really don't know a whole lot about it, other than the fact I jump on it every great once in a while. But like, basically the way I interact with basically almost every social media right now, which is just very rarely. But that, that's just personally, and that's because we do a lot of output, and for me, as really kind of an introvert, for me to do a lot of output, I don't really want a whole lot of connectivity everywhere I go. I mean, and it's just as a personal choice. I'm not somebody who enjoys the fact of being constantly connected at every level, every minute, and every second of the day.
Group chats are like the bane of my existence because if I want to talk to people, I want it to be in person.
Yeah.
You know, and like I understand the benefit,
Yeah.
and a lot it works for a lot of people, and it's like I love you guys, and I want to be connected to you guys. But if we could meet in person, that would be great.
So you guys realize though that we are weird, right?
Mm-hmm. I realize because I'm a 15-year-old.
It
that
takes
the
so
closest
long
thing that
to
she has
type
to
stuff out,
social
though.
media and having like friends online is the Bible app. I only use Pinterest to look at like stuff that I like dream about. That's the only thing that I use Pinterest
really
for.
goes on Pinterest to make friends. I'm pretty sure everyone just goes on Pinterest to create their own entire world
Yeah.
and live in it for a little while.
My
It's the
fantasy
introvert's
world,
social
some
media.
crafts that I've pinned, hairstyles that I've pinned,
I thought she said grass.
what
that
I
she
love
pinned.
about
That was-
Pinterest?
She said crafts.
some little memes.
I love that no
Dream
comments
house.
are visible on Pinterest until you click on the comment section. And before you can click on the comment section, you have to click on the thing itself. And so it's just lovely.
So there's like, and I don't know,
Just don't
every
use
once in a while, like I go through and clear out my notifications through social media things. And almost guaranteed, almost every time I go onto Twitter to clear out my notifications, I look and I go like, why am I here? Because I admit that no matter what I get on, a lot of times to look at, clear out notifications or
I
whatever,
have
I
no
will, like-
desire to be on any other social media platform at the moment.
I was going to ask you that in a second, actually, because you
No
know
desire.
several years ago, you wanted to, you
I
were
know.
dying to be on Instagram and everything, and it's
Not
just
anymore.
yeah. I know. I was going to ask you though. So
No.
anyway, my
have
goal
all
is
I
not
need.
to. Our goal is not to like scare people off from social media. It is
Social
not
media
to-
can be a good thing.
It can be a very good thing. I'm not here to do that.
Just be careful.
Yeah, be careful on what you post. We've really, this has been more of a rant than
Yeah.
it has like a real
gosh.
information.
I feel like
I could rant about this
podcast.
all
why
day,
we've
you
had
guys.
several podcasts on this
All
topic because it
day.
always turns into a rant, and every time we come on, we hope that it's
All
going to
day.
be different and that we're going to like sit there and lay out a like active plan,
We've talked
and
about
then
some
it
of
just
them.
turns into more ranting.
Yeah, so
But it's a heavy topic that
It
affects
is.
so many people, and so many people have so many
I
opinions.
could rant on this.
And they are all
day.
visible on social media. Everyone who hates social media is on social media, just so you know. No, I'm just kidding. They're not really. But a lot of people that do rant about hating social media while they're on social media.
anyway,
Here we are doing a podcast about it.
I know. And it's not that I hate social media. I just think it has a purpose and it has a place. And if that thing becomes ultimate and pinnacle in your life, then maybe you need to dial that back a little bit. But that is not,
I hate that it's
that was
so
not the subject of this
entertaining.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate
know.
that it's so entertaining and that I can because like legitimately I'm on social media because I can see interesting things there without having to scour the internet.
Social media is the internet.
I mean like go into a search bar and type funny memes about cats, you know? It's-
So,
'Cause-
there's a group for that.
'cause all I have to do is like two funny memes about cats for social media to bring up more funny memes about cats. You
Yeah,
know,
I
that's
saw
just
something-
an example. Although I do look at funny memes about cats.
So I saw something where this, what happens if this guy goes back in time, like 100 years into the past, and he says, I have this device that basically at the, click of a button, I can find the answer to any question at any time, almost instantaneously. And, the people that are back 100 years ago look at him and say like, "Well, you must like not have near the problems in the future. If this is the possibility, if this is something that you have, like you must use this for great, wonderful, things in the future to like progress humanity and do all of this stuff."
Keep
and the guy
going.
looks at him and says like, "Well, mainly I just use it to look at cat memes." So anyway, this was not supposed to be a rant. This was supposed to be like tips and tricks. So real quick tips, because we're going to have to wrap this up a little bit. Some of our podcasts lately have been kind of getting long, so we're going to try to keep this one from getting too
Careful what you do
crazy
at
long.
post.
Yep.
Turn on privacy settings.
Yep.
And stop causing arguments on the internet.
Yep.
Ta-da. 3
There
things.
you go. Yeah, don't friend people who are not actually friends in real life. That is usually also a decent idea.
Also, don't friend all of your friends in real life.
I mean, you know, sometimes.
Look, I have people that I'm perfectly fine with in person that I haven't friended on Facebook. And haven't let them follow me on Instagram. They're just sitting there in the not confirmed or declined list.
Now, one of those people are going to listen like, this is why.
Well, it's just because I've met my number of people that I really want to see my posts, and I'm just done now. It's like, nope, I like you a lot. We could be great friends. I'm out. I'm out. I'm sorry, I've met my quota. This is
You have your own personal quota.
Yeah.
Whatever number of followers you have, that was your personal quota, right?
whatever number of followers I have. That's enough for me. I don't need any more. I don't want any more. If I'm gonna add someone else, I'm gonna have to take away someone
I'm
else.
sitting here thinking, I don't even know that I follow her on Instagram. Do I follow
Probably
you?
not.
She
Probably not.
See, she sees me all the time. She won't let me follow her on Instagram. I don't know if I
Yeah,
requested either. All right.
And
Anyway,
then I'd probably still decline.
she says, no, I have to see him at least 4 days a week. No.
I'm pretty sure I'm around you more than my own husband. So
So, all right. The wonderful times of work and work hours in a week, All right. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Let's cover a few of these things that we need to wrap up. This episode is brought to you in part. I'm sitting there trying to decide who, because I didn't make that decision yet.
who sent us something most recently?
Who sent us something most recent? Ooh. So there is, and it's about to go out right this second, which means it's probably out as the time you're listening to this. There is Alien Gear has a brand new holster called the Roswell holster. And I happen to be carrying it right this second. It is it's not Kydex, but it's kind of similar to Kydex, but it has a dust cover for the optic, which I'm a huge fan of red dot optics. Okay. And it's super affordable. I mean, it was like a $40 holster or something like that. Already optic cut, and not optic cut like a lot of them. Like I said, it's got it's not just there's a dip in here, a cutout for an optic. It actually has a cover for the optic to kind of keep it from getting so dirty. It's awesome. I am super excited about it. It wears very comfortably. So yeah, go over to YouTube and check out our video on it if you want to know more about it. I can go ahead and tell you right now. It's pretty freaking awesome. And if you want to pick one up, go over to impactgear.live/alien gear. That will let them know that we sent them to you, and also help us out because we get a little bit of kickback for every little sale that they make through that link. And really, really appreciate it. Also, this is episode 95. We have 5 more episodes to episode 100. We have something special coming up on episode 100. Kylie has been begging for lots and lots of reviews. You have until episode 100 to go over to Apple Podcast, write a review, give us a 5-star rating, screenshot that, send it to brian@impactdefense.online. And we're going to put your name in for a drawing to where somebody is going to get a $250 Amazon gift card. And Kylie is going to be funding that. And I'm super excited about that because I don't have to pay for it. Yeah. Oh, and also, if you really want to help us out as well, another way, and you are able to do so, because like
Pay
we said earlier,
$4.99 a month.
like I said earlier, we don't always buy the sponsorships. We really only get paid by the sponsors for most cases, except for this awesome setup that we got here. in most ways, they only get paid by the sponsorships if somebody goes through a link and buys something. So our bills each month for doing this podcast don't always get paid. So if you want to help us out, we are now offering a membership thing, a support thing. You can support us for $4.99 a month. The link in that is at the very bottom of the description, and that will help fund everybody's coffee addictions. Right today, I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper Zero.
My place over here is really sad because there's no coffee within arm's reach. And if you want to support me in this difficult time,
If you
make
can't
sure
see
that
Jada right now, there's a tear rolling down her right cheek.
support my coffee addiction, because there's no coffee within arm's reach of me right now, and it's a hard time, hard times, and I'm trying to get through it, really, really working to still get this information out to you guys, but it's difficult, and you have to drag yourself to the chair every morning and put on the headphones, knowing that you're not going to be met with the refreshing taste of your favorite beverage. And we would just really appreciate it if you guys would go and support us for $4.99 a month to support our coffee addiction. Thank you.
Yeah. So the first 12 is going to go to support our coffee addiction. And then everyone after that is going to help pay for the other cost of doing this podcast. All right. So guys, thank you so very much for listening to the podcast. And
Stay safe, stay alert, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Yeah, what she said.
Bye. Somebody in South Dakota, please listen to this podcast and prove to me that you actually exist. Thank you.